Hey guys, today we're making another design created by Chauntavia, my friend over on Instagram, and she goes by Star Loves Loom 44 over there. This design has a lot of meaning as it was dedicated and named after her late grandma, Kathleen. So she misses her so much. They had a really close relationship, and I know this means a lot to her. So definitely let her know what you think of it down below and just show her some love and support. There are a couple options with this design. It is reversible. You have the option of keeping it like this. And then there's also the version where you flip it and you can see these little bands here. I'm doing this version today, but I'll tell you how to get this version if you want to do that. I also want to mention that this is a 4-bar wide design, but you can need anywhere from 2 to 3 sets depending on your wrist size. So because there's so many different options, I'm not going to give a band breakdown, but you are going to want to choose approximately 5 colors, and then I'll show you guys that loom setup. So to get started, we're going to set up our 4 bars where the 2 middles are aligned, and then the outer bars are going to be staggered forward 1 position. I'm using 2 loom sets today, so I do have another one set up in front of it. 2 loom sets gets us about 6 3/4 of a bracelet, just to let you know. But we're going to be starting by laying the white here, and I consider that one border and that another border. But we're going to start with the white. And we do use 2 closures for this bracelet. So we're going to lay a loose band on the center and another one on the second center pin. From there, we're going to go diagonal out to the right and the left. From there, we're just going to start laying straight bands going down both sides, but I'm just going to lay the right side for now. Whether you are using just 1 loom or 2, like 1 set or 2 sets, you're going to be going down all the way to the end of the loom, and you should have 1 empty pin when you get down to the end. Now, if you're using 3 sets, I have not tested that out, so I can't tell you exactly how far down to go, but you definitely don't want to go all the way down to the end because, like I said, it's 6 3/4 for 2, so if you go all the way down, it's going to be way too big probably. So I'm at the end of my loom, and you can see I have 1 empty pin right here. So once you have 1 empty one, we're just going to bring it into the center like that. And now you have to do the exact same process for the left side. So go ahead and get that laid the same way, and I'll meet you guys back here. So once you guys do get caught up, this is what it looks like at the end. We're going to go back to the beginning now. We're going to start filling in some bands in the center, and that's going to be the pink that I used on this one. And on the back side, it makes that X twist. So I'm going to use that same pink today. And all we're going to be doing for this part, starting on the second row, is laying a band going straight across the 2 center pins. Come up to the next one and repeat. And that's what we're going to do all the way down. The only one you don't lay it on is the very last row where your border is. I feel like my voice is wanting to go out on me. I feel very raspy. I did oversleep today, so that's probably why. You know how when you just sleep too much, you feel like you should be well rested, but you kind of feel the opposite and feel like groggy and just don't want to get your day going? Yeah, that's me today. Okay, you guys, so I did jump ahead and I got the rest of mine laid. So as you can see, this is where the last one's laid. Don't lay one at the end where the border is. You're going to want to push your borders down a little bit and the center pins so we can lay our next layer. So the bands that we're going to lay now are going to be the teal ones on this one. It's the same bands that you see on the back side if you do the looping like how I did on this one. So that's the bands we're laying now. I'm going to stick with teal. We're going to come up to the second row in the middle, and we're going to go diagonally outwards and kind of upwards. And we're going to do that going both directions like that. Come up to the next 2 center pins, and we're going to repeat that. Again, come up to the next ones and do the same thing. And we're going to do that going all the way down. So get all of your diagonal bands laid, and I'll show you what it looks like when I get down to the end. Okay, so whenever you guys get caught up and you're at the end, this is what it should look like. You can see my last one right here. So I did push mine down some. We're going to come back to the beginning. We're going to lay our next layer. That's going to be the yellow that's on this one that sits in the center. It's like 2 single chains basically. So I'm going to stick with yellow, and we're going to be laying a straight single chain running down both centers. So starting on this one here, we're going to go straight down, and if you want, you can lay this side at the same time. They're going to look identical. So I kind of just lay two and then lay two on the other one. But like I usually do, you can technically just go down that row and then come back and lay the second one. We're going to lay this straight going all the way down until we reach the border at the end of the loom. Alright, so I know I'll be a little ahead of you. Just want to show you what it looks like at the end. So now we have one more layer to lay, and that's going to be the second border, as I call it, which is the purple that you see that sticks out the side of the bracelet. I'm going to use purple again. We're going to be starting on the outer corner pin right here, and we're just going to lay it straight down. I'm just going to do the right side again on camera, and then you guys can do the left one. We're just going to lay this going all the way down, and then we will bring it in the same way that we did the first one when we get to the end, and I'll show you that once I get closer down. So we're just following the first border. So right here you can see my white goes in. We're going to do the same thing right now with the purple and bring it in like that. So come back to the beginning on this corner pin. That's where we're going to start. Lay it going all the way straight and then bring it in at the end the same way, and I will meet you guys back here. Alrighty, so I've got my left side done. This is what it should look like. Both sides should match. We are officially done laying the bands. So we're going to turn our loom around. And we are going to grab one more of that purple border, and we're going to place a cat band on one of the two center pins. I just wrap it around one. Then I'm going to grab my hook and stretch that cat band over like so. And now we are officially ready to start the looping. So the first thing we're going to do is go into this cat band, and we're going to grab the top layer, which is that purple. We're going to loop this one to the right, and then go back in and do the left one. And now we're going to loop these top layer of purple borders all the way up. So you can choose which side you want to do first. I'm going to go ahead and do this right one. And we're literally just grabbing the top band and looping it forward. You're going to keep going in and grabbing that top one and looping it up. And you'll do that all the way up. This part is very straightforward. So I did jump ahead. I just want to show you that it does stop at the top corner pin there. And then you got to do the same thing on the opposite side. So you'll come back down right where we left off at that corner pin. Go into that loop, grab the top band, and loop it forward. And you're just going to repeat the same process for this side. So again, I am going to go off screen and get this side looped up, and I'll meet you guys back here when I'm done. Alright, so I know I'm going to be a bit ahead of you guys. This is what it looks like. They should both be the same on the outer rows, and now we're going to come back down. We're going to come to the beginning and start looping the yellow in the center, and we are going to be looping those like an X. So when we go into this cat band right here, we want to grab the top yellow band, and we're going to cross it diagonally to the right, and then we'll come back into the cat band and grab the top one, and this one will cross to the left. We always start in the left pin, so we'll move the top two bands out of the way and grab the top yellow, cross it diagonal to the right, back up and cross this one to the left. And we're going to keep looping them like an X all the way up. Just take your time. I'm really feeling sluggish today, you guys. I don't know why I get sick so often, but I definitely am coming down with something. Or at least my body is trying to fight something off. So I am going to go off screen and get these X's all looped up, and then when we get done, I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so when you get to the top and all your X's are looped, it looks like this. We're going to come down to the beginning and we're going to start looping out the teal diagonal bands, which now they are facing downwards. So we're going to be looping them out from the center. So this is my second row. We're going to go into this pin right here, You have to move all of the bands out that we just looped, those yellow ones, and grab the diagonal teal and loop it back to itself, which is going downwards. And you have to do the same on this side. Come up to the next row. We're going to loop that one the same way. This is all we're going to do for this part, is loop all the diagonals downwards. You technically could go all up the right side and then the left. That is usually how I do things. I'm sure you guys know that. But today I'm just doing both at the same time. My floors are creaking because I have somebody upstairs walking around. I usually film when the house is empty. But I was bored and wanted to get this filmed today. So I'm like, everybody, be quiet, no walking around. So I'm going to go off screen and get the rest of mine looped out, and then I'll meet you guys back here. Alrighty, so all of mine are looped out now. So we're going to come back down to the beginning. We're now going to be looping the pink bands that are horizontal on the centers, and we are looping them like an X. It's the same way that we did the yellow. So on the second row here, you're grabbing the very bottom pink, and we're going to cross it over diagonally and connect to the right. Come back and grab the right side of that band on this pin, and you're going to cross this to the left. So this is what it looks like. We're going to do that again, going into this pin this time, grabbing the very bottom, cross it diagonal, and then back up and grab that one and cross it in the opposite direction. It's going to be tight because it's only one band that we are looping like an X. We're going to do this all the way up. I'm going to sit this down since it's 2 looms. It's quite heavy. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of mine done. Keep doing that until you reach the top, and I'll meet you back here. Alright, so mine is all done and looped. So we have one final thing to loop, and that's going to be the final border. So we're going to come back down to the beginning. And this is the part we have more than one option here. So on this one, you can see these white bands here. They sit on top. This side, it's the teal. You can see it sits under this border. So you can get slightly 2 different looks. The front's going to look the same no matter which option you do. But I am going to be doing this look, but I'm going to tell you what to do to get this look. So we're going to start by going into this cap band here, grabbing the only band in there and looping it to the right and to the left. So if you do want that alternative version like this one, you have to flip the second band down. So that would be the teal band right here. Just count, grab the second band and flip it over on both sides. I'm not going to do that version, so I'm not going to be flipping it. From there, we are all going to grab the very bottom band. There's a lot of layers on this pin, so be careful. Grab the very bottom band and loop it up. If you're doing that other version, again, it's the same process. You're going to grab the second band and flip it over. I'm not doing it, so I'm going to leave it there. For anyone that's doing the version that I'm doing, all we're doing is grabbing the bottom band and looping it straight up. You're going to keep repeating, grabbing the bottom and looping it up. You'll do that all the way up. And to summarize this version, the only difference is after you loop the bottom border up, you flip the second band over. And you just keep alternating looping it up and flipping the second band. So hopefully that's pretty straightforward for everyone. I'm just going to keep getting this border looped up on this side, and then we have to do the same thing on the right. One thing I would recommend though is don't try to yank this off of the loom. You definitely want to use your hook to at least release the outer rows before you go pulling it off. When you do get to that top pin, you're just going to grab the bottom and bring it in towards the center diagonally. And now we have to come back down, and you guys are going to do that same process on the right side. You're just grabbing the bottom band and looping it forward. And for that second option, after you loop the bottom band forward, you just flip that second band over. So go ahead and get this side done the same way that you did the other side, and I'll meet you guys back here at the top to officially close it off. Alrighty, so my right side is completed the same way, and now we have 2 loose bands at the top, which is going to be our bands that we close it with. So you do want to go in, grab that band and bring both ends together, and this is what we're going to attach our C-clip or easy clip on. And then you do need to do the same thing on the one right next to it, because this bracelet looks better with 2 closures instead of 1. Alright you guys, so when you take it off, it's probably a little wonky looking. The first thing I do is give it a good stretch up and down, help things fall into place. So to close it up, what we're going to do is come down here where the cap band end is, and you might have to untuck that original cap band. We are not going to be connecting our easy clips to that cap band. We're going to be connecting it to the chain that sits next to it. So here is my cap band right here. See the purple chain next to it? You want to put your hook through both of those 2 purple links. And that is where we're going to attach our first easy clip. Make sure you're lining it up and clipping the correct side. So now we need to do the same thing to the right side. So we're going to come over here, locate my first purple chain that's sitting next to the cap band, and that is what we are going to attach our easy clip on this side. Like so. So that is how you create this super cute Kathleen bracelet, which was created by Star Loves Loom 44 over on Instagram. Remember, this was dedicated and created for her grandma Kathleen. This is a dedication to her. So please let her know down below what you guys thought of this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you really soon at my next tutorial. Thanks guys. Bye.